Her sister was a waitress at the most powerful hotel in the city, but one night she called panicking. She had seen too much, secrets she wasn't supposed to see, and then the call ended. By morning, she was gone. No answers, no trace. So Amara did the unthinkable. She took the same waitress job at the same hotel. Now she's getting warnings. Stop digging or you will disappear like your sister. In a place ruled by powerful men and deadly secrets, will Amara uncover the truth or become the next victim? Watch the waitress they should have killed now to find out.
During the day, everyone loved her. At Blue Orchid Lounge, the most popular hotel in town, customers requested her by name. "Let Amara serve us," they would say. She has the sweetest smile. Amara never forgot an order, never spilled a drink, never frowned. Her uniform was always neat, her voice soft, her eyes calm. Men tipped her generously. Women admired her politeness. The manager trusted her more than anyone. But no one noticed something important. Amara never laughed too loudly, never got close to anyone, never stayed after closing time. The moment her shift ended at 9 p.m. sharp, her smile disappeared. She would walk out of Blue Orchid Lounge, remove her apron carefully, fold it neatly into her bag, and her face would change. Cold, focused, intentional. She would take a different route home every night. She never posted on social media, never shared personal stories, never allowed anyone into her world. Because Amara was not just a waitress, she was investigating. 3 months earlier, her younger sister, Tola, had vanished. No ransom, no body, no answers. The police called it a runaway case. But Amara knew better. Tola worked at Blue Orchid Lounge too. And Tola had once whispered something strange before she disappeared. Some of these men aren't who they pretend to be. Amara had watched, listened, recorded. She memorized faces, studied patterns. The businessman who always came on Thursdays. The politician who requested the private VIP room. The quiet regular who never ordered food, only drinks, one by one. She was connecting the dots, and tonight, she was about to make her first move. As she stepped into a dimly lit street, her phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number. "Stop digging, or you'll disappear like your sister." Amara didn't panic. She didn't cry. She simply smiled. But this wasn't the soft waitress smile. This was different. This was the smile of someone who had just found her first target. The Blue Orchid Lounge did not look dangerous. It looked expensive. Crystal chandeliers, velvet chairs, soft jazz humming through hidden speakers. A restaurant carved from imported mahogany. Politicians, movie stars, oil moguls, foreign investors. If you wanted power in the city, you come to Blue Orchid. And at the center of it all stood one man, Chief Roland Dante, owner, philanthropist, business magnate, friend of governors, donor to churches, smiling face on magazine covers. The city called him a visionary. The city feared him quietly. 3 months ago, 11:47 p.m. Rain poured violently that night. Amara remembered every detail. Her phone rang. Tola flashed on the screen. Her little sister never called that late. When Amara answered, she didn't hear Tola's usual bright voice. She heard breathing. Fast. Terrified. "Amara," Tola whispered. In the background there was music. Loud. The kind played in VIP sections. Then Tola said something that changed everything. "They're not just serving drinks in room 7. Footsteps, voices, a door slamming. They moved them through the back entrance. The private rooms aren't for meetings. I saw everything, Amara. Important names." Her voice cracked. "Chief knows I saw." Amara stood up from her bed. "Tola, leave. Run away from there now. Go to the police station. I'm coming. They're chasing me." Silence, then a scream. The call dropped. Tola Nwosu was never seen again. The police called it a voluntary disappearance. She probably ran away. She was young. She might have gotten involved with the wrong crowd. The case file closed within 2 weeks, but Amara never closed it. She didn't cry publicly. She didn't protest loudly. She became quiet, deadly quiet. Before applying to Blue Orchid, she prepared. Amara was not reckless. She studied criminology for 4 years before graduating as the best student in her department. She knew how criminals thought. She knew patterns. She rented a small apartment close to the lounge. She observed the staff entrance. She memorized delivery schedules. She learned the names of regular customers. She followed the black SUVs that came every Thursday at exactly 10:15 p.m. She noted down the plate number for tracking. She discovered something strange. No CCTV cameras faced the rear exit. For a place so expensive, that was intentional. Getting hired was easier than she expected. Chief Roland liked beautiful, calm, obedient-looking girls. Amara played the part perfectly. Soft-spoken, graceful, never asking questions. But she watched everything. The coded phrases. The Orchid Special. Room 7 is ready. The guests from overseas have arrived. Room 7. That was the room Tola had mentioned once in passing. VIP clients only. The manager had warned. Waitresses don't enter unless instructed. And if they entered, they didn't speak about what they saw. Ever. Amara felt it on her third week. The fear. Not hers. The other girls. They avoided eye contact. They flinched when the manager raised his voice. Some disappeared without farewell. Family emergency, they would say. But no one ever heard from them again. Chief Roland had a presence. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten openly. He smiled. A heavy, controlled smile. The kind that said, I own this room. I own this city. I own your silence. The first time he looked at Amara for too long, she felt it. Not fear, recognition, as if he was measuring her. He tipped her generously that night. New girl, he said softly. You have potential. Amara bowed her head respectfully. Inside, she was already building his downfall. Amara had trained her mind to detach from fear. She practiced breath control, observation drills, memory recall. Every face she saw, she remembered. Every conversation she overheard, she replayed later at home. She had begun recording audio discreetly. Small devices hidden inside her hair clip, inside her serving tray. She wasn't just a waitress. She was collecting evidence and revenge. Then came the first crack. One night, a famous senator stumbled out of room 7, adjusting his suit. Behind him, 2 girls were led through the back hallway by security. One of them was crying silently. Amara froze. That hallway led to the rear exit. The blind spot, the one without cameras. She didn't move, but she counted. 1 security guard, 2, 3. She memorized their faces. And then, one of the girls lifted her head for a split second, and Amara's heart stopped. The girl was wearing Tola's bracelet. The thin silver bracelet Amara had gifted her on her 20th birthday. No, it couldn't be coincidence. That bracelet was custom made. Her hands trembled for the first time in 3 months. Tola had not run away. Tola had been taken. That night, Amara didn't go home immediately. She followed, carefully. A black SUV drove out of the rear gate. She trailed it on a bike she had rented for this exact purpose. Distance maintained. Lights off. Breathing steady. The SUV stopped at an abandoned warehouse near the port. Shipping containers lined the area. Men stood guard. Amara hid behind stacked crates, phone recording. She saw paperwork exchanged, money, passports. She didn't need to hear everything to understand. This was bigger than one hotel, bigger than Chief Roland. This was a network, and her sister had seen it. Her phone vibrated suddenly. Unknown number. The same message as before. Stop digging. This time another message followed. We know who you are. For the first time, Amara felt real danger. They weren't just watching. They knew her. Back at her apartment, she laid everything on her investigation board. Photos, timelines, names, delivery logs, VIP, guest lists. At the center of the board was one picture. Chief Roland Dante. Connected by red string to politicians, to foreign investors, to missing waitresses, to Tola. Amara stared at his picture. Slowly, she spoke into the silent room. You took the wrong sister. Her revenge would not be emotional. It would be strategic. She wouldn't scream. She wouldn't attack blindly. She would dismantle him, piece by piece. Reputation, allies, protection. And when he finally stood alone, she would make him understand what fear feels like. The next morning, Amara walked into Blue Orchid Lounge again. Smile perfect. Uniform flawless. Good morning, Chief, she greeted softly. Chief Roland studied her. For a moment, too long. Then he smiled back. "Good morning, Amara." Neither of them blinked. The war had officially begun. Blue Orchid Lounge was louder than usual that Friday night. A famous Afrobeat artist was rumored to be in attendance. Luxury cars lined the entrance. Cameras flashed outside. Inside, it was velvet, perfume, money, and secrets. Amara moved gracefully between tables, balancing crystal glasses like she had done this her entire life. But tonight was different. She could feel it. The staff were tense. Security was doubled. Room 7 had been prepared hours earlier, and Chief Roland Dante had arrived early. That never happened. "Amara!" His voice came from behind her, smooth, controlled. She turned with the same polite smile. "Yes, sir?" "I need you in the private lounge." Her heartbeat didn't change. "Yes, sir." Around them, 2 waitresses exchanged glances. No one went to the private lounge alone unless specifically chosen, and being chosen was never random. The private lounge was not room 7. This was Roland's personal chamber. Dim lights, leather walls, a bar stocked with bottles older than most countries. Roland sat down slowly, studying her like an expensive investment. "You've been working here for 6 weeks now." "Yes, sir." "You're very observant." That sentence was not casual. Amara lowered her gaze slightly. Not submissive, respectful. "I try to do my job well." He smiled. "That's what I'm afraid of." Silence filled the room. He stood up and walked closer. Close enough that she could smell his cologne. "You see, Amara, curiosity is dangerous in a place like this." There it was. Confirmation. They knew or suspected, but suspicion wasn't proof. She tilted her head slightly, playing confusion. "I don't understand, sir." He watched her eyes carefully, looking for fear, for guilt, for panic. He found none, and that unsettled him. He clapped once. The door opened. 2 security men dragged in a young waiter, Tunde, 19 years old, quiet, new. Amara had noticed him because he always avoided the rear hallway. Tunde was shaking. "Chief, I swear I didn't mean to." Roland raised a hand. Silence. He accessed a restricted area. Roland said calmly, eyes still on Amara. He saw something that wasn't meant for him. Tunde's breathing was uneven. "It was a mistake, Chief. I was looking for the restroom." Roland sighed. "Every mistake here has consequences." Then he looked directly at Amara. "This is where loyalty matters." The air changed. Amara understood immediately. This wasn't about Tunde. This was about her. A test. He picked up a phone from the table and handed it to her. "Call the manager. Tell him Tunde is unreliable. Tell him he must be dismissed tonight." Amara felt the trap closing. If she refused, she would be exposed. If she agreed, she would be complicit. She took the phone slowly. Tunde looked at her with pleading eyes. She remembered Tola's voice on the phone. "They're not just serving drinks here." Her fingers hovered over the screen. This moment would define everything. Amara inhaled slowly. 1, 2. Then she dialed. The manager answered. "Yes, Miss Amara?" Her voice was steady. Tunde entered a restricted area. He violated protocol. Chief says he should be dismissed immediately. There was silence on the other end. Then, "Understood." The call ended. Tunde's shoulders collapsed. "Please," he whispered. Roland smiled faintly. "You see, efficient, professional." He nodded at security. "Remove him." They dragged Tunde out. The door closed. Amara didn't move. Inside, she was calculating. Tunde would disappear. Unless Roland walked closer again. "You understand how things work here, don't you?" "Yes, sir." "And you're not curious?" She looked him in the eye for the first time, not challenging, not afraid. "My job is to serve, sir." A long pause. Then he laughed softly. "Good girl." He returned to his seat. When she left the private lounge, her hands were cold. She walked straight to the restroom, locked herself inside the stall. And for the first time since Tola disappeared, her mask cracked. Not from guilt, from rage. He was testing her loyalty by sacrificing others, creating fear, isolating staff, ensuring silence. This was how powerful men survived. Not through violence alone, through control. But Roland had made a mistake. He thought she chose survival. He didn't know she had already made a different call. While dialing the manager, she had activated a silent emergency message, a contact saved under a fake name. "Package moving tonight. 19-year-old male. Rear exit." She had built a backup plan. 2 weeks ago, she had contacted the unknown number that had been texting her. The man behind the number happened to be an investigative journalist, known for exposing corruption, a man named David Karim. He has been digging into Chief Roland and the hotel, but he always meets a dead end. Tonight would be his first test too. If David intercepted Tunde before the warehouse, Amara would know she wasn't fighting alone. Back in the main hall, music played louder. Champagne flowed. A senator laughed loudly near the bar. The world outside saw glamour. Inside, fear circulated like oxygen. Roland stepped out of his chamber and scanned the room. His eyes locked onto Amara again. This time there was something new in his expression. Suspicion, not proof, but suspicion. And powerful men act quickly when they suspect betrayal. Later that night, as Amara prepared to leave, the manager stopped her. "Chief wants you to work in room 7 tomorrow." Her spine stiffened. No waitress entered room 7 twice in 1 month. This wasn't a promotion. This was an escalation, or elimination. She nodded calmly. "I'll be here." As she walked out of Blue Orchid, the city lights reflected in her eyes. Her phone vibrated. Unknown number. Her breath slowed. A message appeared. "We have rescued the boy." Then another. They were transporting 3 others. Amara closed her eyes briefly. A small victory. But Roland would notice, and when he did, he would tighten the net. She looked back at the glowing sign of Blue Orchid Lounge. "You wanted loyalty," she whispered. "You just declared war." The news didn't break publicly. It never does when powerful men are involved. But inside the Blue Orchid Lounge, the atmosphere shifted. 3 deliveries intercepted near the port. 1 missing vehicle. 2 security guards temporarily detained and mysteriously released. Chief Roland said nothing. He simply arrived earlier than usual. And when powerful men arrive early, something is wrong. Roland sat in his private chamber with a tablet in his hand. Every staff file was open. Employment history, addresses, references, emergency contacts. He wasn't angry, he was calculating. "Someone talked," he said calmly. The manager swallowed. It couldn't have been the core staff. Roland didn't look up. Everyone talks eventually. Fear just determines when. He scrolled, then paused. Amara Nwosu. Employed 6 weeks ago. Reference, restaurant in another city. Address, recently rented apartment. Education, incomplete university studies. No family listed. He tapped the screen lightly. "No family?" he murmured. "Strange." Meanwhile, Amara was already aware something had shifted. Security was checking lockers. Phones were being inspected randomly. 2 waitresses were dismissed without explanation. Fear was spreading like perfume in the air. Subtle, but everywhere. Then the manager approached her. "Room 7, tonight." There was no warmth in his voice, just instruction. Room 7 was soundproof. That was the first thing she noticed when she entered. The music outside disappeared completely once the door closed. Inside sat a senator, a foreign investor, and Chief Roland. 3 glasses on the table. 3 smiles that didn't reach their eyes. "Amara," Roland said smoothly. "Close the door." She did. The click echoed louder than it should have. Roland gestured to the bar. "Pour." Her hands moved steadily. Ice, whiskey, measured. But she felt it. The test. The senator leaned back lazily. "Chief tells us you're reliable." Amara smiled gently. "I do my job well, sir." The foreign investor chuckled. "We value loyalty here." The word lingered. Loyalty. Roland stood up and walked toward a small control panel on the wall. He pressed a button. A screen descended from the ceiling. Video footage began playing. Warehouse footage, security angles, transactions, blurred faces. Enough to understand what was happening. Not enough to prove anything legally. It was deliberate. They were showing her, watching her reaction. The senator spoke casually. "You see things in this life, you mind your business." The investor added, "Ambition is good. Curiosity is expensive." Roland stepped closer to her again. "Tell me, Amara, what do you see?" The room felt smaller. This was not about serving drinks. This was psychological interrogation. She turned her head slowly toward the screen, studied it like it was meaningless. "I see business," she said calmly. "What kind?" Roland pressed. She met his gaze evenly. "The kind above my pay grade." Silence. 3 powerful men studied her face, looking for outrage, shock, moral discomfort. They found none, only calm professionalism. Roland's lips curved slightly. "Good answer." But something in his eyes darkened. He still didn't trust her. That same night, Roland made a call. Dig deeper into Amara. Pause. I want everything. Another pause. University records, past employment. Friends. He leaned back in his chair. And check missing persons reports connected to her surname. His instincts were sharp. He hadn't built an empire by ignoring patterns. 2 days later, the report landed on his desk. Tola Nwosu. Missing. Former Blue Orchid waitress. Last seen 3 months ago. Roland's expression did not change, but the air around him turned cold. So, he whispered. He tapped Tola's photo, then Amara's. Sisters. He exhaled slowly. That explains her guts.
That evening, Amara noticed something new. She wasn't just being observed. She was being followed. A black SUV behind her taxi. Same one that escorted VIP guests. She didn't panic. She changed routes. They followed. She entered a crowded market instead of going home. The SUV stopped at the edge, watching. Message received. The trap tightens. The next day, Roland summoned her privately. He didn't smile this time. You have a sister. It wasn't a question. Amara kept her breathing controlled. Yes. Where is she? I don't know. Truth, but incomplete truth. Roland studied her carefully. She used to work here. Yes. And she disappeared. Yes. Silence stretched. You think we had something to do with it? The question was soft, deadly soft. Amara lowered her gaze slightly. I think my sister made choices I didn't understand. Roland leaned closer. If you are here looking for answers, Amara, you will not like what you find. There it was. A warning, or a threat, or both. That night, Amara received another message from David Karim. They are moving someone important soon. She stared at the message. Then another one arrived. We found something. A photo loaded slowly, blurry, dim lighting, but unmistakable. Tola, alive, weak, inside what looked like a prison facility. The timestamp was recent. Amara's composure finally cracked, just for a second. Tola wasn't gone. She was leverage. Roland stood in his office, staring at the city skyline. She knows, the manager said quietly. Yes, Roland replied, but she doesn't know how much we know. He picked up his phone. Prepare her death. Pause. Room 7 tomorrow. The manager hesitated. Sir, the sister. Roland's smile returned. Cold. Let's see how dangerous the waitress truly is.
The sun had barely set. Blue Orchid Lounge glimmered like a jewel against the evening sky. Inside, velvet lights reflected off crystal glasses. The city's elite whispered and laughed. No one suspected what was about to happen. Amara walked in. As usual, calm, composed, flawless in her uniform. Her glasses perched neatly on her nose, reflecting the warm light. No one knew the lenses held more than just protection from the glare. They were her eyes everywhere. Room 7 tonight, the manager said coldly. Chief Roland requests you personally. Amara smiled politely. Yes, sir. Inside room 7 was prepared like a stage for judgment. Silk curtains drawn, tables cleared, soft music from hidden speakers. The room smelled faintly of expensive perfume and something chemically sweet. She knew immediately it was drugs. Roland had planned it. He always planned, and this time he wanted her eliminated quietly. Amara served the senator, the investor, and Roland himself. Each glass of champagne measured, each smile perfect. Then a small bottle was brought forward. Roland's eyes on hers. A suggestion, soft, insidious. Drink, he said. Relax. Amara tilted her head. No objections. Drank, a sip. Time slowed. The room spun. Her legs gave way. She collapsed. When she opened her eyes, darkness surrounded her. Her hands were bound, her feet chained. Panic rose, but she controlled it. Then, a faint sound. A whisper. Amara? Her heart skipped. Tola? Her sister stepped from the shadows, alive, breathing, tears threatened, but she blinked them back. Amma, you're here? Tola whispered. I thought... Amara cut her off. I'm here. I'm fine. Listen. The room was bigger than it appeared. Other girls huddled silently, eyes wide, fear thick. Some bodies were partially covered, some had vanished pieces. Whispers of organ harvesting, human trafficking, drugging. Amara's stomach churned. The rumors she had pieced together were true. Why? Why are you alive? She asked Tola. Tola's voice shook. I saw too much. But Karim has the recordings. They want them. They've been chasing me ever since. Amara's mind raced. Karim? The journalist. He has carefully hidden the recordings that proved everything. The leverage that had saved Tola, for now. Amara scanned the room carefully. Chains, old, weak. Guards, stationed outside. Her glasses, live feed, recording everything her fingers brushed the hidden button under her wristband. A whisper to Tola. Trust me, I've got this. Tola nodded, relief mingling with fear. Amara's mind raced through every plan she had prepared in the last 3 months. Every observation, every layout, every secret passage. This trap, meticulously prepared by Roland, was now Amara's stage. The girls were blindfolded, hands bound, and loaded into a black SUV. The vehicle was sleek, professional, silent, except for the soft hum of the engine. Inside, Amara kept her composure. Her glasses were recording everything. Every word, every movement, every detail of the men who thought they had her trapped. Tola whispered beside her, voice trembling. Amara, they're taking us. Amara touched her sister's hand lightly. Not for long. Trust me. They arrived at the warehouse port. The air was cold. Fog rolled off the water. Chief Roland, the investors, the politicians, and the high-ranking clients waited. They thought they were about to complete their operation. Transfer the girls for trafficking, for exploitation, for profit. Amara's lips curved into a small, unreadable smile. Then came a sound from behind the stacks of containers. Cameras clicking, phones buzzing, flashes of lights. Who? Roland started, his voice sharp. And then they saw them. TikTokers, live streamers, investigative reporters, and Karim's team emerged from hidden positions around the port. Every angle recorded, every face exposed. The high-profile men froze. Their confident smirks vanished. Amara lifted her hand slightly. Look at you, she said, her voice calm and sharp. Your empire is on camera. She tilted her head. Her glasses reflected the bright lights of the phones and cameras trained on them. Every movement, every name, every action. Live streamed across social media. Karim stepped forward, holding the main camera. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, voice loud. This is live. Every detail of your crimes is being documented. Every single one of you will be held accountable. The VIPs stumbled back, panic replacing arrogance. Roland's jaw tightened. Amara, he growled, fury lacing his words. This is impossible. Amara laughed, not loudly, not nervously. A sound full of triumph and control. You underestimated me. You underestimated my sister. And you underestimated what happens when the truth comes alive. Every stream, every social media feed, every hidden camera was live. The girls were now safe. The operation was public. The powerful men realized too late that their secrets, their darkest deeds, were being broadcast worldwide. Roland's fury mixed with fear. He took a step forward. Amara's smile never faltered. Say goodbye to the life you thought you controlled, she said softly. The lights of the cameras reflected off her glasses. The night air was filled with the clicking of phones, the whispers of streamers, and the distant sirens of approaching authorities. The trap that was set for her had exploded, but in the most spectacular way, and it was her trap all along. The morning after the port revelation, the city was in chaos. News feeds exploded. TikTok clips went viral. Live streams of Blue Orchid Lounge's VIPs, caught in the act, circulated across every platform. No one could ignore what had happened. Authorities could not delay. The public demanded action. Victims' families came forward. Whistleblowers revealed names. Bodies were recovered from shallow graves. Organ harvesting and trafficking networks were exposed. Chief Roland Dante, once untouchable, was cornered. Investors, politicians, and celebrities who had thought themselves above the law were now publicly dragged. The authorities moved swiftly. Luxury cars were impounded. Private security forces detained. All communications blocked. Blue Orchid Lounge itself was sealed. The velvet chairs and chandeliers were removed as evidence. The building was later demolished, a symbol of the fall of power built on fear and crime. Amara stood in court, composed, resolute. Her sister Tola by her side. They were witnesses, victims, survivors. Your Honor, Amara testified, these people used fear to silence the innocent, but we will not be silenced. Justice must be served. Her words echoed in the courtroom. Every photo, every recording, every live stream from the port was played. The world watched. The families of the victims wept. Survivors embraced. The public's outrage was unstoppable. Karim, the investigative journalist, was honored for his courage and persistence. The TikTokers and streamers who documented the evidence were praised for shining a light on the truth. Amara and Tola became symbols of resilience. The girls who had been trafficked were freed. All victims previously silenced were now empowered to speak. The courtroom delivered harsh verdicts. Chief Roland Dante and his co-conspirators were sentenced to life imprisonment. Public figures implicated lost their positions, fame, and influence. Amara was recognized as a hero. Her courage, intelligence, and planning had dismantled one of the most dangerous criminal networks in the city. With justice served, Amara returned to school, this time to study law. She vowed to use her knowledge to protect the vulnerable, to prevent horrors like Blue Orchid from ever happening again. Tola followed, inspired by her sister. The sisters, once victims, were now unstoppable forces for change. The city would never forget them. And as Amara walked past the ruins of Blue Orchid Hotel, she smiled. Not with vengeance this time, but with quiet satisfaction. The night had been dark, but justice had finally dawned. The end.